Hey honeys, it's time for another gorgy episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life, the podcast with me, Gareth. This season, we've teamed up with possibly the honeyest summer festival ever, Back to Festival. What is Back to Festival, I hear you cry? Well, what if I told you there's a 4-day Hun Fest taking place at Catton Park, Derbyshire from the 30th of June to the 3rd of July, featuring some of the most iconic 90s and noughties nostalgic acts for you and your honeys to party with. I'm talking Bass Hunter, the Venga Boys, Birdman Scoop, Wigfield, Scouting for Girls, oh yeah, and not forgetting Cascada, Aqua, UB40, and the Mighty Steps as part of their 25th anniversary tour, plus over 100 acts for you to go wild in the aisles with. Back to Festival is well equipped to keep a Hun's needs met, from gorgy cocky tea bars, top quality branded drinkies, nom local food traders, and if that's not enough, a brand new dead exclusive VIP area for alt preemie Huns out there. So get on the pink Motorola Razr, set up a WhatsApp group, invite your best Huns, get planning those outfits, and get ready to hit Back to Festival, all Huns blazing. Want to know more? No progs, babes. Check out Back to Festival on the old Facebook, or get on the gram and follow at Back to Festivals to get involved. Tickets are on sale now, starting at just 30 quid. So what are you waiting for? Head over to www.backtofestivals.co.uk for all the deets, the full lineup, and ticket purchasing. Get ready for the most outrageous trip down memory lane. See you there, Gorge. Mwah. Okay, Huns, we're back. It's another episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life, and this week, it's true Hun royalty joining me on the podcast this week. She's the Queen of the North, who has recently been crowned on this very podcast as the Royal Hunness by Joe McElderry. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. She's soap, stage and screen royalty with the voice of an angel and moves to put a night at Liquid and Envy on a Saturday night to shame. It's the one and only Claire Sweeney. Welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life.
Hello, darling. You all right?
Yeah, just getting on with it, Hun, you know, just keep young and getting on with it. How are you?
I'm marvellous, dear. I'm marvellous. I am good, actually. Yeah, I'm marvellous. I've had a very heavy weekend.
Weekend.
When I say heavy, you know, I did Proud Saturday night then. I went out dancing to Fat Tony till 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I had a full day at Harry Potter Land yesterday.
It's all about contrast, isn't it?
Babes, you know what it's all about? It is literally all about keeping all those balls in the air and keeping everyone happy, isn't it?
I love it, because every time I look at your Instagram, you are like here, there and everywhere. She's a girl on the go.
I was in bed at 10 o'clock last night. I was knackered. It beat me yesterday. Yeah. To be fair, though, Harry Potter Land was marvellous.
Yeah, it's so good. Are you a Potter fan?
Well, do you know what? The thought of Harry Potter filled me with horror for many years. Right,
Same.
Anything like that. And then in lockdown, I thought, well, I should sit and watch it with my son. And there was nowhere to go, was there? There was nowhere to run it. And to be fair, I watched them and I really enjoyed them. And then going yesterday, I was like beyond excitement when I walked into the Great Hall and it was marvellous.
Do you know what? My boyfriend is like the most obsessive Harry Potter fan to the point where they go. There's a group of them, which I'm very much not in that group. Thanks, guys. Well, I'm not watched the films and stuff, but they go and do all these quizzes, and then they've done that. You know, they've got Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit. It's not very inclusive when you've not watched the films, to be honest. Yeah, this is my cry for help. Actually, blink twice if you're in trouble.
So what's your guilty pleasure then?
My guilty pleasure is Claire Sweeney, I think. My guilty pleasure is I love a bit of Kylie Minogue.
Oh, my mother used to call her Killy Monologue.
Killy Monologue.
Killy Monologue. She couldn't say her name. I love Kylie. Do you know what I love? I love anyone who stands the test of time in our business. Our business is so fickle. Chew you up, spit you out, chew you up, spit you out. Yeah. And Kylie, Lulu, people like that, they've just stayed there for years and kept reinventing themselves. And I think she's marvellous.
She's marvellous. So I went to Jessie Ware last night, and so this was the Sunday night show, the second of the 2 nights in Brixton. And Kylie came out on Saturday.
Did she?
She did. She came out. They did the thing. It was all over Instagram. The gays went wild. It was lovely. And then. So on Sunday night,
Who came out?
No one. Kylie didn't come out. And the thing was is that we're stood in the audience. And everyone's like, I can't believe she's not coming. Oh my God, I'm fuming. Oh my God.
Fuming.
And literally It was gay meltdown at the back of the sound box. It was gay meltdown.
But can you imagine? I mean, the thing is, you either do Kylie or nobody, because if she'd have brought someone else out, she'd have brought Danny out. If Danny had walked out or something, I mean, the gays would have gone. It's just a disappointment, isn't it? After Kylie, so let's do nothing.
Just let it be. Jessie was enough. I mean, Jessie had the gays like in a chokehold last night.
Is she fabulous?
She's very fabulous. She's very fabulous, and I've seen her once before. And but that album, like, obviously hit in lockdown, and I was like looking round, and you could see, like, and I keep saying the gays, but it's obviously everybody. I think it was one of those albums that really.
Well, that's your club, isn't it? That's your club. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know I love Lizzo?
Oh God, yes.
Oh my God, I think she's fabulous. And I recently went to see Legally Blonde.
In the outdoor theatre.
In Regent's Park. And it's because I did the original version. I played Paulette in the original version, right?
Yes, you did.
10 years ago, I think it was. Yeah, 10 years. And I absolutely loved about it. And what they've done is they've made it diverse. But what I love about it is they've embraced every shape and every size on that stage. I've spent years terrified of getting fat and putting weight on, and and it was always the big girls who played the funny parts. And you've got bigger girls out there being so sexy, wearing sexy clothes, sassing it up, dancing up a storm. And it's Courtney is wonderful, and she's so beautiful and sexy and funny, and I love it. I'd really recommend it.
Legally Blonde, a friend of mine is in the cast, and when they got cast, they were as I say, it's a diverse role that they're in, and I mean, I've not seen it yet. It's on for the summer though, right? Yeah, it's on through
the summer. Lucy Moss, who wrote 6 and directed 6, she sprinkled that 6 magic on it, and I just loved it. I loved it, and it's one of those things, when you're in a show and you love it, and I saw it with Sheridan Smith, and you think, oh, please be good, and for me it was just brilliant.
Duncan's been in it as well. Duncan James was in it back in the. Well, let's talk about on stage now. You very, very kindly invited me down to Proud the other week, and I literally can't stop talking about it. It is the campus. I absolutely loved it, and my friends loved it, and you were absolutely fabulous, living your best life up on that stage. How did that come about?
Well, do you know what? I've been to see Duncan do it, and I spent a lot of time touring. I did 9 to 5 the musical this year. And I started in a cabaret environment. I mean, certainly not like Proud, but on all the social clubs and all that. So I've grown up doing cabaret. That's where I cut my teeth. And I went to see it, and I literally said to Alex Proud, if you need a replacement singer, let me know. Right? It was literally one of them. And then time went by, lockdown happened and all that. And they got in touch and they just said, would you like to do it? And I was like, I bit their hand off, For me, Gareth, I live in Pimlico. So it's 11 quid in an Uber to work, right? 10 quid, or I can get the train to Charing Cross. I'm at home. I get to be outrageous. I get to be funny. I get to be... you
get to be on a swing.
I get to be a Madame Dominatrix. I set me Mary on fire, which is fabulous. And get it blown out by a gorgeous girl, topless with the boobs lit on fire. And then I get to swing, and I get to sing Diamonds Are Forever in a sequin catsuit on a swing. I mean, what's not to like?
I know. Do you know what? When we cut this episode, we're just going to have that soundbite, and it's going to be, I get my Mary set on fire and I'm a swinger, and then that's going to be the headline, right?
And you know what makes me laugh? Because I say this on stage, and I go, I get to be a Madame Dominatrix, and the crowd goes, woo! I say, I get to set me Mary on fire, the crowd goes, woo! And then I say, and I get to swing, and it's often just like 1 or 2 people who go, woo! Yeah. I'm like, there you go.
And then the wives are elbowing the fellas. Yes. Obviously, you're the star of the show there, but the cast are amazing. The setting's amazing. It's so brilliant.
It's a world-class show because the acts are from all over the world. Right? Maria Devereaux is from Brazil. Then you get acts from Vegas. And I mean, it's just brilliant. And when I was asked to do it, I have got my cabaret show, which is safe, which is what I've been doing for years. And I thought, I don't want to do that. And I was doing 9 to 5, the musical.
Sure.
And I was thinking, 9 to 5, there must be all kinds of jobs that work 9 to 5. I bet there's a few dungeons. I bet there's a few dominatrix madams who wear that into 5. Right, I'm going to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I come out with like the sexy dressing gown with the boys on leads and pink
Yeah.
balaclavas on. And then
living all of our fantasies.
Yeah, that's it. And whip it off. And I'm singing Girls Like Me on the Job Work 9 to 5. And I've slowed it right down to like a really sexy swing number. So it's brilliant. It's such good fun. And Jess, did you see Jess on the Rockin' Horse? Was she on that night when you were there?
No, I saw Katrina.
Oh my God, hanging by her hair.
She is my new Instagram obsession. My boyfriend is already following her, and she's like, that's Katrina. And I was like, well, who's Katrina? And he's like, well, it's just Katrina.
Isn't she? And she has a top knot on her hair, ties herself to the ceiling and swings round, doesn't she? It's like, oh.
What more do you want on a Saturday night, eh?
I know. I have to massage her and give her a Nurofen afterwards.
Oh. In my eyes, you are like a total Hun. Do you know, like, what's your thoughts on this whole Hun culture thing?
What is a definition of a Hun?
Well, this is the thing. It's quite a hard thing to define, like, to put a thing. Do you have a definition? And what do you think it is?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been saying the word Hun for years because I'm terrible at names. But what is it? You tell me. What do you tell me?
Well, I think it's, so the way that I put it is it's using, like, noughties and 90s nostalgia, the time before mobile phones and Instagram, and capturing those moments and using those moments to be completely outrageous and silly in today's time.
Well, I mean, when you posted that video of the Royal Variety Show, oh my God, I couldn't. And the thing is, I'd forgotten I'd done that. Yeah. I'd forgotten I stood there singing next to Cher and all that. It made me howl. But the other one is, I think it was Atomic Kitten or something with the hipster jeans and the little tops.
Oh, yeah.
I used to wear them and it's like, oh my God, it's so funny when you look back.
Do you know what? It's so like, for anybody who has not seen the clip, I'll repost it when this episode goes out. So for context, I think it's the Royal Variety Show 2001. And for some reason, like, because obviously Hearsay had won Pop Stars that year, hadn't they? And they were like the showpieces. So what you got? So for context here, Hearsay are leading this Elton John number.
But it was also the days when they used to have the biggest stars from all over the world to do the Royal Variety Show. And the families would sit down to watch it. So it was a massive deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it finishes, and then it's just like this vomiting of legends on stage. Claire starts, and then you think, all right, well, this is good. And then Elton walks on, and Scylla comes out, and then cut to J-Lo next to bloody, I can't even remember.
Cher. And we're all singing, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And Cher doesn't know the words.
Cher's like, someone's getting fired.
And she's probably just had her face done so she can't move her face again. So it's just kind of like...
Part of what I do like with Hunsnet is my research is like, I'll sit now after this and I'll think, right, let me think of an event from like back in the day, and then I'll like do a massive deep dive into it. But you, Claire, pop up in quite a lot of it, like the 10-year Chicago where it's you,
the
Duncan.
Outside. Oh my God, me,
brilliant.
Duncan, and what's her name?
Kelly Osbourne, Denise,
and Denise Van Outen, yeah.
Oh my God.
And Jennifer Ellison.
How does it feel for you, like, when you're in these memes and stuff like that? Because loads of people are obsessed with you.
I love it because it takes me back to things I've forgotten, like that Royal Variety Show. I remember introducing the act. It was Anatoly Zarievsky or someone, and I couldn't say it, and I was terrified. But I was more worried about saying his name, and I'd forgotten about that big sing song at the end next to J-Lo. Do you know what I mean? So it's lovely when you see all that and it reminds you.
It's so, like, honestly, there's some really, really great moments like which get uncovered, and there's I reckon there's more in those Royal Variety shows.
How do you? I mean, you must spend ages finding all these clips and pictures. And
do you know what? This is so weird. Do you
have like a library? Do you have like a Rolodex and you go through it now?
I can't remember my national insurance number, my passport number, but I can tell you what happened in week 3 of Big Brother 6. It's just that do you know what it was, Claire? I was back in the day when all of my references come back. I used to work at Pontins up in Ainsdale in Southport, and it was such a great thing for me because it was, you met all of these different people, and Scouse, I've always loved Scousers. I've like because they're the friendliest people. They dress up when they go out on a night out. They glam. I love it. And there's all of these people, and I can remember all of these scenarios and situations and all of these conversations and things that people would say. But it's all set against this backdrop of this music and reality TV at the time. So it's all this mashup together. It's brilliant. I love it.
Times were different. I remember when I did the very first Celebrity Big Brother in 2001, and there was no cameras in the toilet. We didn't get paid for it. It was comic relief. And there was no mobile phones then, thank God. And it was just a mental... And there'd been no reality TV.
No.
There'd been no dance, no Strictly, no jungle, no ice dancing. There'd been nothing like that. So it was the first of its kind, except Stars in Their Eyes. They used to have that on. Yeah. Celebrity Stars in Their Eyes, and that was it.
When you did Big Brother, it was the first celeb one, wasn't it?
It was the very first one. There'd only been one series, which I hadn't even watched, which Craig won the Scouser. And they asked me to do it, and I replaced Mel B. Mel B had pulled out. And I'd met Richard Curtis at an awards ceremony, didn't know who he was, sitting chatting to him. And he got this Lifetime Achievement. It was BAFTAs, that was it, sat next to him. And he just remembered that chat, and Susie Albon was there. And they asked if they contacted Phil Redmond to see if I'd do it. I was in Brookside at the time. And Phil let me because there was actually Phil said no at first. And I went up to him, I said, well, I've got no episodes, it's quiet. I said, it's for charity. And he said, but say you get beat. I said, I won't. I said, Anthea Turner and Vanessa Feltzer and they were more well-known than me. I remember when I did it, the press used to nickname me Bob because no one knew who I was unless you watched Brookie. So they nicknamed me Bob Bird off Brookie. But it was great, Bird off Brookie, yeah.
Oh my God. Talking about Brookside, because that's the first time, obviously, maybe some of the listeners to the podcast who will remember that time and remember the storylines and everything like that. Looking back, it was trailblazing.
It really was. And you know what was lovely, Gareth? I was a fan of the show. Remember when I used to work on cruise ships? My mum used to send me the VHSs, the videos, and I'd watch them back to back in my cabin, Saturday night, omnibus. And when I got into it, it was just brilliant, and it was groundbreaking stories. Yeah, it was the body under the patio, the first lesbian kiss. And I'll tell you a funny one. I remember my character was going to Thailand with Kylie, her daughter Kylie Corhill. And I remember carrying it, and I thought, bloody hell, we're going to go to Thailand on location. This is marvellous. But they filmed it at Speak Airport in Liverpool. Yeah. And they just kept spraying me with water.
To get that misty dew.
To get that misty dew, right. And a few local extras. And I remember doing this scene where I get arrested on the Travelator and my teddy bear's full of drugs. And I didn't know. And I'm doing this monologue and I'm acting my heart out. My daughter's crying, I'm crying. I get led off in handcuffs and I've done this big monologue. And they said, oh, we've got to do it again. I says, why? And behind me, there was a big poster saying, welcome to Liverpool's Albert Dock. And they went, we've got to and they put an orchid on it. They said, we've got to do it again.
Oh my God. You must have some core memories, random stuff. It's brilliant. I love it.
Mental memories, yeah.
We've been talking about memes, but you are connected to somebody who also does memes, and he's one of your very good friends, Mr. Fat Tony. How did this all come about? Because it seems like a really, really beautiful friendship.
I'll tell you what happened. I had read the Sunday Times, and I'd read this amazing article about him. And he's a good-looking guy, isn't he? I thought, what a handsome bugger. And I read it. And then I go to my local cafe, and he's in my local cafe. I said, now this is before lockdown, I've just been reading about you. But he was too cool for school. He kind of looked at me and he was like, yeah, all right. And turned away, right? And I thought, wait, okay. Anyway, during lockdown, I used to see him around, out and about. And during lockdown, I remember coming out my house and he'd fallen off a scooter in front of my house and he was on the floor.
And you're like, you need me now.
Yeah, I know. Who's the boss now, bitch? Anyway, yeah. So he was on the floor and he'd really hurt himself. God love him. And we helped him up. The friendship kind of blossomed from that. It was lockdown. We just started talking. And that's kind of how it happened. And then it kind of turned into breakfast every morning. And then it's just this lovely friendship now. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to watch, and I think his covert recordings of you are brilliant. When it's so good. It's so that was one of the highlights of lockdown for me.
Well, what happened was I was out of that started in Battersea Park. Him secretly filming me, and he posted it, and it got a bit of traction. And then I'd just been to get my hair blow dried, and the hairdresser had put a tenner on the price. and I was fuming, right? And that's it. I walked out. I wouldn't get my hair blow dried because she put the prices up by a tenner. And I turn up to him and I'm fuming and I'm ranting about the hairdresser putting the prices up. God love her. And he secretly filmed it and put it on, and it just went ballistic then. You know, that was it, really. Yeah.
It's so, I love it. I live for it. I think it's so, so good. And it's so good. And you've just been on bloody holiday as well to Ibiza. That looked like a right rave up.
Well, that was good fun. I've never been to Ibiza before. I've never done the Ibiza thing. And I went and it rained for 4 days.
Oh,
and then on my last day, the sun shone. It's all right. Ibiza, I mean, I didn't really see Ibiza.
No.
I've been going to Mallorca for years. I didn't see it, but we had a good laugh. And I was in great company and we had a real good laugh.
No, it looked good fun. So you go to Mallorca. Are you one of those people when you go on holiday, you go to the same place every year, or
well, I had a house there for 16 years. So I am a creature of habit, and I like to go there. I sold it 2019, year before lockdown, and so I like it there. And because I work so much, I like to go to the same place, see my friends, and then I was doing the ships a lot. I'd go and do my cabaret on the ship, so I got to travel that way and do different things there. So, but I like to do the same things. Are you a homebody or do you like to be out? Because you tour a lot as well with the shows and stuff like that. I love being home. And I think being away so much, I really, really appreciate home. And I just, I like to be here for Jackson as well. Jackson, for the listeners, is Claire's son. You've just been to Harry Potter World. You've been collecting. One of the things I saw on Instagram the other day, you were on Oxford Street looking for a football kit. What was going on? God, it was awful. I mean, he was told to come into school looking like something where he's from. So I wanted to dress him up as Cilla Black, and he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it. I've got the ginger wig and everything, he wouldn't have it. And then I thought, I suppose I better get him an Everton kit, But I love Everton, so trying to find an Everton kit in London, you got no chance. Liverpool, yes, it's everywhere, but I couldn't do it. I'm a blue. And I'm walking around. I managed to get him an England shirt. It didn't fit him. I had to take it back. I ate Oxford Street at the best of times. I had to take it back, and then that was. And then I managed to get him some sort of Team GB shirt. Just go generic. As a Beatle. And Paul O'Grady messaged me. He said, "Dress him up as a sailor." There was loads of sailors when I was in Liverpool. Oh my God. I would love to know what your WhatsApp. It's probably like the who's who of showbiz. I love it. Not really, no. When you're doing Proud Cabaret and everything like that, how many more weeks have you got to go there? Because you're in seasons, aren't you? So they've extended me till the end of September, which is great. Amazing. Yes, I'm just doing one night a week. I think I'm going to be doing Fridays from September now, all the way through to the end of September. But you know what I used to love going. Because you can sit and eat food and watch the show, and you haven't got to move from your seat. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then there's little breaks in the show, isn't there? So, you can have a little breather and go out, have a fag if you smoke, or just have a breather. And it's a great night, isn't it? Hold up. We'll be back with our gorgy guest right after this. Thank you for supporting Hunsnet on Instagram and loyally listening to this podcast, The Hundamental Guide to Life. Now, the Instagram and the podcast will always be totally free to you, babes, and you will never have to dip into that prosexy pot to carry on consuming the Hunsnet content that you enjoy. But we know that some of you would love more content, and to facilitate this, you can now go behind the curtain and support Hunsnet on Patreon. For as little as the cost of your morning cup of coffee, you can get exclusive access to so much more Hunsnet content, exclusive discounts, offers, and even get the podcast in video form and ad-free. Get involved now, babes. www.patreon.com/Hunsnet. Hun supporting Huns, honey. Talking of nights out, we had Joe McAldry, who's a big fan of yours, on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he told us about a night out that you had at Freedom. And we'll play the clip just to remind the listeners.
Last time I was on a night out with Claire Sweeney, she was in Freedom in London, and she'd forgotten to pay a bar bill from the previous time. So she told them. So she told them that she would come back. I think I hope she spoke about this publicly. Yeah. Well, she said it on stage in front of everyone, so everybody knew. Yeah. And she basically said to them, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll come back in a couple of weeks and I'll do a gig to make up for not paying for the bar bill. So she gets up in the middle of the night and does like a 20-minute set, a bit of Chicago, all of these songs. I thought, do you know what? That's fair play. That's fantastic behaviour. Yeah.
That is classic Sweeney.
So I'll tell you what happened. I'd just done Brasserie Zadell, right? I'd done Brasserie Zadell. And it had got a storm. It had been fabulous. Don Black had been there. Everyone had been there. And I had all my gays there as well. And I went, right, come on, we're going to Freedom, right? And Prosecco for everyone.
Make it rain in the club.
Yeah, loving it, loving life, right? And then I went home and, I mean, God, I don't drink so much these days, but I'd had a few drinks, right? And I walked out, I minced out, giving everyone a big showbiz wave and forgot to pay me bill. And I'd invited everyone, so I didn't expect anyone else to pay anything. And I'm like, giving a see ya, be back next week, giving it all a big exit, And I phoned Nathan the next day and I was like, oh, Nathan, did I pay my bill? He went, no. I went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me give you my credit card details. He said, no. I said, let me pay the bill, Nathan. He said, no. Give me 2 songs. Next time you're in, give me 2 songs. I went, let me pay the bill. He said, no, I want you to sing. I went, well, there's worse things that you can do than singing a kinky cabaret. I loved it. And I practiced and I went and did my songs. And I remember that night, it was, oh my God, it was so funny. It was this, I got up and I sang and I told that story on stage. I said, I'm here tonight. I'm paying my bill.
I love the fact that all of your anecdotes, you're always surrounded by the gays. I love it. She's in there.
And I wonder why I'm single.
Wow. Listen, it's gays before guys, isn't it? They're going to get you through it. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about, because one thing that the celebrities that we have on the page and all of like the icons from like, back in the day and everything like that, everyone's done a fitness DVD. And I did a bit of research. You've done a fitness DVD.
Yeah, I did, dear.
Do you remember did you do a series? Was it one?
No, I just did one.
Just one?
I did one, yeah, just one. I remember doing it. I was so thin. Oh, I was so thin. And I remember them trying to find a picture of me before when I was when they want to do like a picture of you on the front looking really big, don't they? And I didn't really have one. So I was trying to find like pictures of me in a loose maxi dress looking a bit heavier before, But yeah, I did. I remember doing that video, yeah.
It's so fun. Like
everyone did them then, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was a real thing of the early noughties, wasn't it?
Some of my favourites are Tracy Shaw's Salsa Size, Natalie Cassidy's Then and Now workout. That's iconic.
Beverly Callard was the first one.
Bev Callard, yeah.
And she used to do a thing. Do you remember Calonetics?
What she used to do? What? There
was an exercise of that era. This is the 90s called Calonetics,
and it was full Bev Callard pioneered it.
I'm not sure if she started it, but it was this new exercise craze, and it was around the time when Jane Fonda did hers and everything. And it was called Calonetics. I don't even know. I can't even remember what it was, really. I remember doing Bev Callard's in the 90s.
Well, do you know what? Bev Callard's thing, I can guarantee that the listeners of this, and we speak about it loads on the page, whenever we put anything about Beverly Callard, everyone's like, my mum did that, I did that. We used to get cans of beans. But it's the best one where her daughter is actually doing the workout with her, and then they like fake chuck her in the pool at the end, and everybody seems to remember that. It's crazy. Can't remember my own national insurance number, but can remember Bev Callard getting chucked in the pool on a fitness DVD. It's probably a VHS. Hysterical. So Claire, when you're on a night out, one thing that we do with all of our guests on the Hundamental Guide to Life is we ask them for their tracks that make them live, love and laugh, like live, love, laugh. And what we do then is we then add them to the Hunsnet playlist for all the Huns to enjoy when they are live, loving and laughing. So I'll help you out here. So you're on your way. You've just done Proud. You're on a night out with the gays. You're going to go hell for leather. You're going to pay your bar bill this time in Freedom. What track is playing?
Oh my God, somebody else's guy, Jocelyn Brown.
Oh, really?
That's my karaoke song as well. Love it.
Are you the first one on the karaoke, or is it like, come on, Claire, have a go? Or are you the first one up there?
I literally love karaoke. I crashed a birthday party the other night. I went with Fat Tony, and it was a famous skateboarder called Blondie, right? And it was this private karaoke room, and they were really cool, these people. And I walked in my bright yellow suit, and I sang "I've Been to Paradise, but I've never been to me," and "Do You Know the Way to San Jose?" "Do You Know the Way to San Jose?" That was it. And then I sang, I think I sang a duet with Blondie. It was fab.
Oh my God, yeah. If in doubt, just get up and karaoke it out, right?
I love it.
I
love karaoke.
She's on. She's always on.
When my character came out as the lesbian in Brookside,
yeah.
we were on holiday in Benidorm. I'd found out the cast were going to Brookside to do some filming there. So I thought, I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to get my body looking amazing because we're going to be in bikinis on the beach, right? I get the script, and Lindsay Corkill's lost a suitcase and she has to live in long shorts and a T-shirt like in half hot mum for the week, right? So
full Bermuda shorts.
Yeah, I've got these long shorts and a baggy T-shirt on, and I get up on stage and sing "I've Been to Paradise, but I've never been to me," and announce that I've become a lesbian. And that was the storyline. That was my storyline in Benidorm.
Where else?
And I loved it. It was fabulous.
The next section is a love section, so it doesn't mean like you don't have to be like making love or anything like that. It could something that gets you in the mood for love. You know, you've got the bottle of Plonk on, you got your Yankee candles on, getting a bit romantic. What song's playing?
And do you know what comes into my mind then?
Go on.
Abigail's Party. You know,
Yes.
with a bottle of champagne, lighting the candles, and the girl from Impanina playing.
So is that yours, or have you got a different one?
Mine would be a bit of Marvin Gaye, wouldn't it?
A bit of Marvin Gaye. All the classics.
Let's get it on. And I remember a very romantic moment when I was a teenager. I was in Tenerife with my mum and dad, and the glass collector asked me for a dance. And you know, in the Spanish waiters, they pile the glasses up, right? Really high. And Phyllis Nelson was singing "Move Closer." And he's got me in one arm and the glasses in the other, and we did a slowie to move closer when my mum and dad sat watching.
Which one did he drop first, the glasses or you? And finally, what song makes you laugh or remind you of laughter, or like, fall about laughing?
That's a good question. Fall about laughing. Oh God, Russ Abbott's Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because every Christmas, it was like one of the only songs we had at home. We used to play it. I love it. Do you know it? Oh, what an atmosphere. I love a party. And we've got a home video, right, of it playing. And for some reason, we had this tiny paddling pool that was a shell that used to open. And we
from the Argos catalogue.
And one by one, we all got in it and jumped out. And then we put the dog in at the end, and the dog jumped out traumatised while Russ Abbott's Atmosphere was playing.
That is core memory unlocked there. That is so core memory.
It's like a shell and water in it. Do you remember the video? Have you seen that video for Russ Abbott's Atmosphere?
No.
And it's filmed in a social club, and they're just like doing a conga through this social club. And DJ Fatoni, he's really cool and he plays all this cool music. Yeah. And he was doing a gig in Liverpool. And everyone's there and they're loving it, and he's there on the decks and all that. And I just thought, in my head, I want to recreate Russ Abbott's Atmosphere. And I somehow managed to get the whole club to do a conga.
To Tony's house music. She's meddlesome. Yeah. If in doubt, get a conga out. Also, back to Joe McElderry.
I love Joe's choice of karaoke. Jane McDonald's.
Oh, Dance Yourself Dizzy.
Dance Yourself Dizzy. I love that.
That is classic Joe. I mean, Joe.
Do you know what I remember? I remember going into Canal Street. I was in a gay bar in Canal Street.
Surprise.
And when when I did my album, I did a song on it called "I Hope You Dance."
Uh-huh.
And these guys who used to take songs and remix them and put it to a dance beat, they'd taken my song and put it on "I Hope You Dance" to this really thumping dance beat, and it was fabulous, and I've never been able to find it since.
We'll find I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you. Listen, we were talking with Joe actually about like his fan base. There's the McElderry Massive, so the Claire Sweeney fan, like Mariah has the Lambs, Kylie has the Lovers. What could yours be? The Sweenettes.
Slur Queenies.
The Slur Queenies.
The Slur Queenies. Yeah. Well, we've got to have queer in there or something, haven't we?
Is this an exclusive here?
I know, but I always say the wrong thing and get into trouble, so I'll let you make the title up. Something with Slur, Queenie and queer in the title.
I reckon it should be Slur Queenies. The Slur Queenies.
Yeah, Slur Queenies,
fabulous. So if you identify as a Claire Sweeney fan, you are a Slur Queenie. Fabulous.
There you go. You're a slur queenie.
You're a slur queenie. Fabulous. So, Joe McElderry, last time he was on the show, he every week on the Hundamental Guide to Life, we celebrate another Hun and put them on their throne, on this platform, and give them the title of the Royal Hunness. Now, when Joe was on, you came out as Joe's Royal Hunness.
Isn't that lovely? I was so honoured.
We'll just remind everybody of that bit there.
Do you know what? Because of the conversation that we've just had,
yeah,
and I think I'm going to give it to Claire Sweeney.
Claire Sweeney is this week's Royal Hunness.
I think she deserves it because she camps it up, she gives it, and she's a true Hun.
So that's Joe saying why he has crowned you his Royal Hunness. But this week, you, one of our reigning queens, get to crown another Hun as this week's Royal Hunness.
Well, mine's really obvious. I mean, for me, no one can touch her. She's the queen. It's the Dame, Shirley Bassey.
Dame Shirley Bassey.
The Dame. One who's reinvented herself. I remember running to the front of the stage in the 19s. I was with Dean Sullivan, who played Jimmy Corkill, and we both ran to the front of the stage, throwing roses at her, both crying. And then I remember years later partying with her at Balance.
On Compton Street.
On Compton Street, yeah.
Shirley Bassey in Balance.
She was a friend of Prady, the guy who owned it, Prady. She was his friend.
Oh my God.
And she's amazing. Oh my God, she is totally amazing.
And just keeps coming back. It's just brilliant.
Can I tell you a quick story about her?
Go on.
I was doing a concert with her, right? And I turn up to rehearsals. I'm the biggest fan. And I turn up to rehearsals, and it was going on the Royal Albert Hall, this concert. And it was just with a 60-piece orchestra. But I've gone to Marks and Spencer's for me shopping on the way to rehearsals, right? So I walk in with all my shopping bags, and I've begged the musical director to put her on after me in rehearsals so I can just hang out and watch her rehearse, right? So I've walked in with all my shopping bags, and I'm sat there waiting, and she's late. And I'm looking at my clock, and I'm thinking, I've got to get home, and she's late. And the next thing, the musical director, his phone goes, and I see him nod, and he's going, yeah. Okay. He puts the phone down, and he strikes up the band, and the orchestra goes, bam, 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 bam. And I start hyperventilating, right, with my shopping bags, right? Bam, bam,
bags
bam,
for life.
Bam, bam. And the door opens, and she walks in perfect time, goes to the mic and goes, good here. And she starts, right? She must have sat in the car outside. Yeah. And they said she's here, and she walked in and started. And I'm like, that's a star. I walked in with my shopping bags, right? And
munching on a goujon.
Absolutely. And she's walked into that music and started singing. Oh my God, she's amazing. She's a true Hun.
What's it like when you meet your idol like that? Like, because is it some? Are you now on like first name terms on the WhatsApp group? Are you friends now? Or no? But she's got to remain up there, right?
She's still there. I'd say hello to her. I've met her. I've been out with her. I remember partying with her once, and I just love her. I just totally love her.
Sometimes and the icons have got to stay the icons, haven't they? They've got to be untouchable. No,
listen, if I had her phone number, I'd drive her mad. I would literally, if I was in a WhatsApp group with her, I would literally find any excuse to message her. No.
John dialing to Shirley Bassey at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, that would be gay heaven. I mean, it's not that I'm keeping her on a pedestal. It's just that I haven't got a number.
Yeah, yeah. But Shirley Bassey is obviously listening to this, and she's like, "Do not give Sweeney the number."
I know. Get a restraining order on Sweeney.
Claire, we are nearly come to the end of the time on the podcast. I literally could talk to you. I could talk to you for ages because I love the stories and everything. We know that you're doing Proud, and obviously you've got the summer and everything coming up. So what's the rest of 2022 looking
like? My
like?
radio series has just been recommissioned, which is marvelous. It's called Claire Sweeney Meets, and it started in lockdown. And it's like someone chooses 6 songs, talk about 6 songs, what they mean to them, and we talk about their life. And of course, it was lockdown. I literally went through my phone book, and everyone was free. So I managed to get like Paul O'Grady. I got Jason Manford, Omid Djali, John Bishop, and I've had fabulous guests on. and Alan Carr's doing the next one, and Mark Feely. So yeah, it's just been recommissioned. So I'm going to start that again soon for the BBC.
Oh, amazing! And is it a weekly show? And
so it's a series of 10.
Yeah.
So they'll put it on. It's on the BBC Sounds app. Who do you think I should get on? Which female?
Anastasia. Can you get Anastasia to do it?
Do you love Anastasia?
Do you know what I do? And she's my
Duncan
guilty
said
pleasure.
She's lovely. You know, Duncan knows her. I think Duncan James knows her. He said she's lovely.
I know you go to Barry's boot camp, and I go to Barry Central. And when I'm going to Barry's in the morning, it's literally in my ears. I wonder if you know, walking down to Euston to get absolutely beaten with me tinted glasses on.
In a horrible Barry's. Did you know I fell off the running machine?
No.
Oh, don't! Honest to God. So it's so dark, isn't it? And I have to put my glasses on to set the running machine. So picture it. I'm like this, and I'm pressing the buttons, and it started really quick, and I flew off it and landed. You know, you have the people on the floor. I landed flat on this bloke, and my glasses broke. Right? Oh my God! And you know, I've got to an age now. I just laughed. I thought it was funny. You know what I mean? But
can you get up to a 12.5? Can you get up to a 12.5 on the treadmill?
No, do you know what I do? I walk. They stop shouting at me now. And I do a fast, pacey walk, and they just leave me alone now.
Yeah, leave her alone.
I just get on there, just leave her alone. And I do this fast, pacey walk. And then it kills me, the running.
Claire, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Honestly, thank you for inviting me down to Proud. I had an amazing time. Claire,
glad you liked it.
We just love you. You just enjoy.
I should invite Joe McKelvey down, see if he wants to come down.
I'll tell you what, me, you, and Joe in Freedom. Yeah. We're not going to pay. We'll blaze it up on a Wednesday night.
That's too funny.
Claire Sweeney, this was the Hundamental Guide to Life. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Bye, love. Bye.
Well, that's it. Another episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life is over. But before you go, have you checked out the brand new Hunsnet website? www.hunsnet.com, our brand new home on the Tinterweb. Need to get tickets to Hun Brunch? We got you, darling, as all the tickets can be found there. Not yet pre-ordered the brand new Hunsnet book, hitting bookshelves this August, might I say. Don't worry, babes, all is forgiven, because you can pre-order it on the site. And finally, if you want to treat yourself or one of your honeys to a dead gorgy present, you can browse our full range of merch too. Log on now for all things Hunsnet on the web, www.hunsnet.com.
Insanity Group.